Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the magnificent Barony Hall on this special day, a day of celebration for you, our graduates, and your families, your friends, and supporters. We're delighted to be joined here today for this ceremony by people from across Scotland, the UK, and indeed the world, on what is one of the most important and indeed enjoyable days in the university calendar. In a short time, each of our graduates will, when their name is called, be invited to come up onto the stage where I will cap them, thereby conferring them with their degree. This is an ancient, public and symbolic rite of passage and mark of achievement, a proud tradition stretching back to the Enlightenment when Strathclyde was founded. Upon being capped, our graduates will become graduates of our great university. And once I've awarded all of the degrees, I will then take the opportunity to tell you a little more about our university, our heritage, and the role we're playing in the world today. And once the ceremony is finished, you're invited to join us for refreshments at a reception in our learning and teaching building just up the hill here. And I'm sorry the weather has broken for the first time in a month or so. Before we begin, let me just say this to you. Please savor this moment. And to the families, friends, and supporters gathered here, do not hold back in showing your appreciation for our graduates, short of coming up onto here, of course. Do enjoy the ceremony, which I now declare formally open. I now invite Professor Jennifer Davidson to present as a special guest Honorary Graduate Professor Anne Skelton. Jennifer will then be followed by Professor Kenneth Norrie, who will present our students.
My Lord and Chancellor, I have the deepest honor to present to you Professor Dr. Anne Skelton for the degree of Doctor of Laws. Professor Skelton is a highly respected global figure in research, legal practice, public service, and international children's rights, and brings a wide range of accomplishments. In fact, there is so much to say about Anne's achievements. Today, I'm forced to offer you only a few select highlights. Let me begin by telling you about her role internationally. Professor Skelton is a well-recognized figure in the international United Nations system, where she is highly regarded as an expert on children. Professor Skelton is an elected member of the United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child, having been recently elected to her second term. This is the UN body holding countries to account for how they treat children. And just last month, at the 93rd session of the UNCRC, Professor Skelton was appointed to the role of chair of the Committee on the Rights of the Child by her UN committee peers, arguably the most senior independent expert role on children within the UN system. In this role, Professor Skelton has led the UN Committee's response to the groundbreaking Optional Protocol Communications Procedure, as it's called, or OPIC. This is where children can raise a complaint against their country on human rights violations after exhausting domestic remedies. Anne was the head of this complaints procedure, for example, when the UNCRC made its historic response to a complaint from young climate activists, including Greta Thunberg and Ayaka Melitafa. The committee held that states could be held responsible for the negative effects of their carbon emissions on the rights of children, even for those children who may be located abroad. Professor Skelton also provides technical expertise to other UN bodies, including UNICEF, the UN Office of Drugs and Crime, and the High Commissioner for Human Rights. As you can hear already, Professor Skelton pioneers change for children globally by setting new international precedents on children's human rights and offering expert guidance on improving the lives of children around the world at the highest level. And in fact, she was awarded the prestigious World Children's Prize for the Rights of the Child, way back in 2012 even. But before her global work, Professor Skelton contributed over 25 years of public service in South Africa, where she is a qualified children's rights lawyer. Her notable achievements include effectively lobbying for the rights of children in the South African criminal justice system through chairing the Committee of the South African Law Reform, appointed by then-President Nelson Mandela. This committee drafted the Child Justice Act, an act which created a child justice system in South Africa. Professor Skelton also led on the implementation of the project into South African law. This was a monumental moment in South African law, where prior to the Child Justice Act, children in South Africa's justice system were tried in the adult system. Professor Skelton served as the director of the University of Pretoria's Center for Child Law, where she initiated the Center for Child Law's strategic litigation work, appearing as counsel in many landmark cases, including over a dozen at the South African Constitutional Court. And I wish to mention that amongst our many guests here who have come from far and wide to honor Professor Skelton, it's a pleasure to have with us the current director of the Center of Child Law, Dr. Karabo Oza, as well as members of the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child. Professor Skelton is also a respected global figure in academia, where she has contributed across a number of publications, conferences, and events. Professor Skelton, in fact, has been a professor of law at the University of Pretoria, South Africa, since 2014, where she holds the UNESCO Chair in Education Law in Africa. Professor Skelton is also chair in Children's Rights in a Sustainable World at the University of Leiden in the Netherlands. And we are delighted to have with us today, on behalf of Leiden University and the Leiden Law School, Professor Ton Liefart, Vice Dean of Law Faculty, Professor of Children's Rights, and UNICEF Chair in Children's Rights. Professor Skelton has been closely associated for several years with the Institute for Inspiring Children's Futures at the University of Strathclyde, of which I'm the director. And in fact, Anne was here at Strathclyde for our big launch celebration 6 years ago, almost to the day. And we're so pleased that this year, Anne has taken on the role of chair of the International Advisory Board of the Institute for Inspiring Children's Futures. As a visiting professor with Inspiring Children's Futures at the university since 2018, Professor Skelton was fruitfully in residence here on campus during winter and spring last year, delivering a special LLM elective and a CPD course on children's human rights for child rights practitioners, as well as delivering the prestigious Kilbrandon Lecture hosted by the university. And she's due to return in October for further teaching with us. And so the law school, the Center for the Study of Human Rights Law, and the One Ocean Hub, and the Center for Children and Young People's Center for Justice have all developed strong working relationships with Anne, and we're very pleased to have that benefit of Anne's expertise, as is the Scottish Government, who have benefited from her insights as the government is grappling with the myriad challenges of implementing the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child into Scots law. You would imagine now that I've painted quite a formidable picture of Anne's leadership, that perhaps you might presume that it follows that she would be perhaps earnest and dour or dull. But I have to tell you, Anne is an enchanting storyteller. She has a fantastic sense of humor and is always very quick to laugh. And despite having grown up in South Africa, she has a close affinity to Scotland. Indeed, her mum was born in Ayrshire, and one of her two grown boys plays the bagpipes and, in fact, has competed internationally in bagpipe championships, including in Glasgow, just a few years ago. And so it is with the greatest pleasure, therefore, my Lord and Chancellor, that with the authority of the Senate, I ask you to confer upon Professor Dr. Anne Skelton the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Chancellor, members of Court and Senate, academic staff, Secretary, Honourable Bedelis, today's graduates and your families and friends, and I also want to mention my friends and family members who've come from a long way, some of them all the way from South Africa to be here today. It's a huge honour for me to stand in this very grand hall and to receive this honorary doctorate. Let me begin by thanking Professor Jennifer Davidson for that very kind, overwhelming address, and also for her collegiality and support in the work that I've been doing with her and the Institute for Inspiring Children's Futures here at the university. The letter of invitation that offered me the opportunity to take up this honorary doctorate was sent to me by the principal, and in it he said that it was to recognize my track record, but both in research and in practice, because the university prides itself on being a place of useful learning, capital U, capital L, and is committed to using education for the benefit of society. And that really is very meaningful to me. It's an ethos that I fully subscribe to as well, that education should lead to positive change. When I was 6 and living in the UK, I developed an early ambition to be a lollipop lady. I was inspired because there was a woman who stood outside our school holding a stop sign that shaped like a lollipop, obviously, and she helped the children to cross the road safely. I thought that looked like a great job, and it was what I wanted to be when I grew up. And as Professor Davidson has said, I was recently appointed to chairperson of the Committee on the Rights of the Child, and I thought, I am making progress in that ambition, although I definitely haven't reached the end of that task, because helping children to cross the road at the international level is quite challenging. Let me give you some examples to explain. 450 million children in the world are living in a conflict zone, the highest number in 20 years. So the roads that they have to cross are patrolled by combatants, and there are landmines just under the surface. 36 million of those children were displaced in 2022. So they're not crossing roads, they're traversing roads on incredibly long journeys, ending in refugee camps. Another group of displaced children, and we'll see more of these, are children displaced by climate change. The roads they have to cross are already underwater in some small island states. Migrant children don't only have to cross roads, they have to cross seas and rivers and face all kinds of perils at the border controls. And while there are so many physical roads to cross, there are also digital pathways to navigate. Some children don't have access, which leaves them behind. And those who do have access are at risk because it's not always safe to be traveling on the roads of the internet. And finally, children also don't only have to be protected, they have to be empowered. They have to have information. They need to participate. And so, yes, I think you'll agree with me that being a global lollipop lady is quite a tough job. So I know that the majority of you are probably not considering a career in children's rights or in traffic control. So I'll leave that narrative there. And I understand that all of you here today are graduating with a law degree. So congratulations, and it's a wonderful moment when you're going out into the world and starting on your legal career. My first job, when I left university with my law degree, was as a public prosecutor. And they put me in what was then known as the juvenile court, because the practice was, the thinking was, if you made mistakes, it didn't matter if you did it with children. So I got to see how harsh the criminal justice system was during the apartheid era. I saw children who'd been beaten by police. I saw children who'd been bitten by police dogs. The system itself was carrying out thousands of whippings on children as a sentence at that time. This is in the 1980s, yes, a long time ago. But I'm glad to say that at least none of that is permitted in South African law today. So I quickly realized that prosecuting was not my game, because I was very worried about what was happening to the children, and I kept thinking, someone's got to do something about this. So I left and I joined Lawyers for Human Rights, and I started off doing general human rights work, but after a while, I kept thinking about those children, and I thought, I need to go back and focus on how we can help those children. So, as has been mentioned by Jennifer as well, after Nelson Mandela was released and became the president, I was then invited to chair the committee that drafted South Africa's Child Justice Act. And I worked on a project that also saw the number of children in South African prisons drop from 4,000 to less than 100, which it is today. So the point of me telling you all of this is to say that if you have started your first job recently, or if you're about to start it, I think your first job tells you a lot about what you want to do as a lawyer, what you want to get out of lawyering, what you want to put into lawyering also. And if you don't like your first job, you can always move and go on to something else. My favorite John Grisham novel is The Street Lawyer. The protagonist is Michael Brock, who is a young antitrust attorney at Drake and Sweeney. Near the beginning of the book, a homeless man takes him hostage together with some other attorneys and is rambling on about the unfairness of his eviction. So Michael starts to get interested in this, and he investigates, and he finds out that the big shots in the law firm are actually purposely evicting people because they've got an interest in the development. Cut a long story short, Michael ends up leaving antitrust law and going over to work at a street law clinic at a reduced salary. Now, I think this story has a happy ending, but I appreciate that some of you might be considering a career in antitrust law, and you may consider it rather tragic, which just shows that there are many types of careers in law that we can consider. And by the way, I'm not knocking antitrust law. I see that Strathclyde's Law School boasts an excellent Center for Antitrust Law and Empirical Studies with a smart acronym, SCALES. The important thing that I'd like to leave with you is ensure that you work hard at what you do, but also enjoy it. You must enjoy what you do, because we spend a lot of our lives working. And remember that you don't have to stay in the first job that you do. You can move. And I can't resist cheekily ending my address by inviting you to bring your skills to the pursuit of social justice. And if you come over and work on human rights or children's rights, I assure you, you'll be welcomed with open arms. Thank you.
My Lord and Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in Law, Alison Claire Evans. Miranda Gelhood. Catherine Margaret Mackenzie. Amanda Jane Ward. For the degree of Master of Laws, Patrick Rory Bantin. Richard Ellens. Ogi Egodaro. Rebecca Dorothy Kay. Karan Shankla. In construction law, Scott Davidson. Larry Martin Higton. Paul Sherry. Senthan Shivanantha Singham. Diana Maria Wabwire. Scott White. In criminal justice and penal change, Nirika Awaste. In global environmental law and governance, Emma Gina Yusebi. Joshua Murray Gibson. Graham Wilson Hamilton. Matilda Germaine S. Mertens. Susan Ann Margaret Muirhead. Nicole Ann Piercy. Ana Azevedo Ruiz de Carvalho Araújo. Hannah Margaret Whitley. In human rights law, Ahmed Al-Mukashfi. Emma Barron. Amy Campbell. Robin Marie Conlon. Ashley Crawford. Antonia Edwards. Carly Mae Elliott. Gabriel Patrick Kilty. Bethany Alexandra Nesbitt. Kira Claire Rogers. In information technology and communications law, Sean Gregory McWhinney Jr. Kevin Patrick Pike. Evgeny Evsahin. In international commercial law, Ryan James Grant. Kyla Hyatt. Nikari Pongaryukal. Rena Rami Nader Nasareddin. Irini Yemenitsis. In international law and policy, Vlad Malinescu. Rosemary Caruana. John Angus McRitchie. In mediation and conflict resolution, Ross Andrew Crawford. Thomas Patterson Skade. Leon Watson. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice and Penal Change, Caitlin Morrow. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Lucy Annie Armstrong. Caris Bell. Lucy Rose Brown. Cara Frances Collins. Amy Conacher. Alex Coish. Chloe Docherty. Jessica Sarah Fleming. Rachel Rebecca Gibson. Nicole Hill. Sarah Kinnear. Harley Kirk. Elise Christina Marshall. Craig Stephen McDonough. Scott Mackay. Carolyn McKinven. Lisa Roy McLaughlin. Sarah Rhoda Murray. Emma Annie Patterson. Paula Maria Antonio Finn. Liam Patrick Ryan. Nathan Kenneth Sharkey. Jennifer Emma Thompson. Rebecca Margaret Thompson. Margaret Turner. Barry Sophronia Wild. Paige Allen. Samira Anwar. Lauren Kate Bell. Rajai Jarnail Kaur Benning. Robbie Black. Lucia Boyle. Adriana Capaldi. Laura Cartwright. Jenna Cameron Christie. Joe Clayson. Annabelle Lily Iona Close. Rachel Lorna Conker. Joe Devlin. Amy Louise Flight. Erin McLaughlin Gillen. Jenna Elizabeth Graham. Gregor James Henderson. James Patrick Henry. Robin Hill. Ryan Scott Hobbs. Ava Skye Hopkins. Elle Hume. Rebecca Manning Hutchison. Ailey Innes. Lindsay Christina Kerr. Ashima Kaur. Douglas Anson MacLeod. Vanessa Meyer. Ryan Marciniak. Rebecca McConaughey. Erica McKee. Aoife M. McLaughlin. Connor John Matthew McRae. Taylor Mary McTaggart. Matthew James Moyer. Shahida Mukut. Stephanie Nesbitt. Jennifer Margaret Claire O'Donnell. Louise Elizabeth O'Donoghue. Paula Louise O'Prey. Amy Catherine Phillips. Katie Ramage. Finlay Randalls. Alice Sampson. Lucy Shields. Callum Bennett Simpson. Amy Sinclair. Jenna Smith. Caitlin Joy McConnell Thomas. Callan Turner. Ewan Peter Valentine. Holly Simone Philippe Walker. Gabrielle Sarah Watt. Aurea Wedderburn. Georgia Wilkie. Lara Beth Wilkie. Kira Elizabeth Wilson. Jason Robert Wood. Kevin Ferris. Charlie Hackett. Shannon Ingalls. James Larkin. Jason James Tallis. Katura Adam. Kirsty Helen Allardyce. Kamali Subramayam Barada. Jessica Brown. Megan Burnside. Zubair Ahmed Chowdhury. Lauren Clark. Stephanie Clough. Samuel Cracknell. Catherine Stewart Comiskey. Jennifer Irving. Eva Jane Elizabeth Kennedy. Shona Liu. Chloe MacDonald. Shannon Elizabeth Morton. Joanne Barbara Moss. Lewis O'Reilly. Chelsea Simpson. Anastasia Smith. Neil Wright. LLB Clinical, Paige Carol May Alexander. Laura Jane Hart. Rory Crombie. Barry Scott Strachan. Amy Louise Woodcock. Anthony Gerard Kelly. Fiona Jessie Rennie. Angela Sanchez. Casey Louise Wilson. In English law, Abir Amer Mustafa Al-Fadhil. Elisa Jane Beardmore. Maya Alicia Law. Yasmin Eden Pearson. In Law with a Modern Language, Eve Nicole Cardwell. Caitlin Fletcher. Alice Flynn. Vittoria Alessandra Luppi. Sarah Mirza Reina. Samantha Wyeth. Lucy Findlay. Katie Beth Hamilton. Rosemary Una McCann. Gillian Marley. Lauren Martin. Nuala Grace McBride. Robin Sophie Morrison. Ellie Olson. In Scots and English law, Joanna Burns. Louis Longmuir. Rhea Louise Barnes. Kaylee Brown. Lisa Carey. Ellie Carr. Iman Fatima. Martin Robert Gallagher. Lucy Christina Grant. Caitlin Hall. Dua Janabi. Jodie Marie McBride. Lucy Annabelle McCormick. Callum Stuart Manili. Rebecca Christina Moore. Mika Perry. Vanessa Rodriguez. Morgan Ross. Susie Lenny Shankly. Tamara Thompson. Katrina Marie Tierney. Bethany Wake. Anissa Begum Aziz. Sumaya Harun. Simran Kaur. Sabah Mohammed. In Scots and English Law Clinical, Farhan Ahmed. Cara Annegret Hope. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Law and Economics, Andrew Brough. In Law and French with International Study, Kira McManus. In Law and Journalism, Media and Communication, Paul Agocho Agege. In Law and Politics and International Relations, Dylan James Mackenzie Boyle. In Law and Psychology, Zena Azuddin Bouaza. Laura Bainbridge. Jasmine Rebecca Craven. Marian Galloway. Jacob Ryan Grant. In Law and Social Policy, Abby Keenan. In Law and Spanish, Divine Omo Elbas Ecator. In Humanities and Social Sciences, Stacey Curry. Hannah Jane Graham. Eltefat Khalif F. Alsbi.
Let me extend a very warm welcome to you all once again on this very special day, which marks the culmination of several years of hard work and dedication for our new graduates, as we can now call you. First and foremost, I'd like you to join me in offering our heartfelt congratulations to our graduates of 2023 for their collective achievements and success with a round of applause. Well done. I did ask you to be enthusiastic at the outset, and coming from people who connected with lawyers and so on, I was very pleasantly surprised at how good you were. So all of our graduates today have shown great resilience, adaptability and determination to arrive at this day, particularly given all the challenges we've had over recent years. For those of you graduating in the presence of loved ones, this is a moment of great pride. Your family, friends and supporters have undoubtedly played a crucial role in your journey. So let us take a moment to acknowledge and applaud them for the support they've given you graduates. Likewise, our dedicated staff have worked tirelessly to provide you with an exceptional education and student experience, and your success is a reflection of their commitment. Graduates, let's take a moment to show our gratitude and appreciation to them. Now, once the ceremony has concluded, we will leave the hall in an academic procession, signifying that you are now full members of the Strathclyde academic community, which now numbers over 196,000 worldwide. As esteemed members of this community, you're going to join a long line of distinguished alumni, such as David Livingston, John Logie Baird, Dame Elish Angiolini, Helen Liddell, Baroness Annabel Goldie, and Sir Tom Hunter. Strathclyde was founded in 1796 during the Scottish Enlightenment through the bequest of Professor John Anderson, who, believing in knowledge for all for the greater good, wished to establish a place of useful learning. We've remained faithful to this founding principle, which continues to guide us today as we strive to make a positive impact on society and the world. We are a research-intensive university committed to creating new knowledge and understanding to tackle the challenges of our times. And through our groundbreaking research, we are contributing to a better world. This isn't just self-aggrandizing claims that we make for ourselves. In the recent Research Excellence Framework in 2021, the UK government system for assessing research quality, almost 90% of Strathclyde's research was assessed as world-leading or internationally excellent. Strathclyde also had the second highest impact quality profile in Scotland, demonstrating the effect our research has on everyday lives in the real world. And our research and our impact is wide-ranging. Our scientists and researchers are leading the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to clean, sustainable energy sources, such as wind, solar, and hydrogen.
that will power our future world and tackle climate change. And we're developing new drugs using new digital manufacturing processes that will provide cheaper, more effective treatments in the fight against cancer, kidney diseases, inflammatory diseases, while also helping our health service evolve to face the challenges of health and social care in the changing demographics of the 21st century. Throughout our focus on entrepreneurial education, Strathclyde Inspire, we're helping students and staff to create new businesses with sustainability in mind, which are creating jobs and supporting economic growth. We're leading the revitalisation of this part of the city through the Glasgow City Innovation District, which is bringing companies, both large and small, in here to work together with the university to create new ideas, technologies and solutions to a range of problems across key research clusters: health tech, fintech, 5G, industrial informatics, space and quantum. And much of this is based within our Technology and Innovation Centre. In the near future, we'll be building another innovation centre named in honour of one of our most successful alumni, businessman Dr. Charles Huang. He donated £50 million to Strathclyde, an extremely generous gift and our largest ever, given in recognition of the role that this university had in his personal success. 30 million of this gift will be used to support the new sustainable building, a key part of the university's technology and innovation zone, allowing more businesses to co-locate with the university and improve productivity, develop world-class talent, research and technology, and accelerate inclusive economic growth. And the remainder of this gift, the 20 million, has supported the creation of 2 professorial chairs in international entrepreneurship and in international innovation and business, along with associated research assistants and PhD students. And this money is in honour of the late Professor Stephen Young, who's a pioneer in the field of marketing and who helped establish Strathclyde's Department of Marketing and who was Dr. Huang's PhD supervisor and mentor during his studies. Further still, supporting an annual prize for an outstanding research paper for a business idea and funding 5 Merit Scholarships award each year, all in Professor Young's name, with an associated leadership program put in place for each of the scholarship students. We're growing Scotland's manufacturing capabilities as part of the 4th Industrial Revolution, called Industry 4.0, which will see digitalisation, automation and artificial intelligence transform the sector and provide huge economic and employment opportunities. Much of this work is taking place in Advanced Manufacturing Innovation District, Scotland, out near Glasgow Airport, where the National Manufacturing Institute Scotland facility, to be operated by Strathclyde, was officially opened on the 21st of June by the First Minister. This eye-catching building sits side by side with the Medicines Manufacturing Innovation Centre, in which Strathclyde is also a major partner. We also work to inform public policy on national economic strategy, education, productivity, and workplace strategies through our various research institutes. And through our Centre for Sustainable Development, our globally minded staff and students are working, co-creating solutions with our global partners across academia, civil society, and the public and private sectors to secure real-world impact. In pursuing our vision, we understand the value of successfully working in partnership with business, government, and the third sector to make a difference. And we extend our global reach through academic partnerships with the like of Stanford University, NYU, MIT, Caltech, Tsinghua, Nanyang Technical University, and National University of Singapore, to name a few. As a university, we're continually working to enhance our student experience, investing in our campus and the student experience, as evidenced by our new Strathclyde Sport and Learning and Teaching buildings, and investing in health and wellbeing services, always putting our students at the heart of everything we do. Our efforts and progress in all of these areas have been greatly recognised in recent years with a host of awards. We became the only university to win the Times Higher Education UK University of the Year twice, first in 2012 and again in 2019. And we've also been named Business School of the Year, Workplace of the Year, Research Project of the Year in recent years. As for this faculty, here are some of the highlights. Law student Blair Haswell was a member of the 5-man Great Britain curling team which won gold at the World University Winter Games. They won all but one of the 12 games they were in to finish top in the tournament. And COVID-4P, that's Protection, Provision, Participation and Prevention Log, was named the winner in Making a Social Difference category of the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards. The app, developed in a project led by a Strathclyde-based Institute for Inspiring Children's Future, was designed to support global child protection work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Professor Elisa Morguera was named a Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh. These are just a few examples of a wide-ranging activity and successes from our university in the last year, and it's in these past achievements that we will build our future. And today is a day to look forward to the beginning of a new chapter in your lives, where you will take the knowledge and skills you've acquired during your time here to pursue and realise your aspirations. As you forge your new careers, the university's values of being ambitious, bold, innovative, collaborative, and people-oriented will stand you in good stead. In recent years, the world has been shaken by coronavirus pandemic, cost of living crisis, armed conflict, not least of all, war taking place on our own continent. And it continues to create uncertainties. And of course, we must tackle the biggest challenge of all, climate emergency. These challenges demand solutions, and as graduates of Strathclyde and the future leaders of our society, you have a responsibility to use your talents and your education to make a positive impact on the world. Now, whether you go on to pursue careers in business, or science, engineering, politics, or any other field, remember you have the power to effect change, to inspire others, and to shape the course of history. But with great power comes great responsibility. And I urge you never to lose sight of the values that have guided you thus far. Integrity, humility, empathy, these are the qualities that will set you apart as you navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. And as you step out into the world, you carry with you the knowledge and skills you've acquired during your time at this esteemed institution. But more than that, you carry the spirit of Strathclyde, a spirit of innovation, collaboration, and excellence. And Strathclyde is also an institution where freedom of thought is encouraged and valued, an institution exemplified by tolerance and inclusivity. We hope you will continue to demonstrate Strathclyde's socially progressive values and ethos of tolerance, pluralism, and a desire to make a positive difference. And I'm confident you will do this because you go out into the world equipped with that most valuable asset, knowledge. The Strathclyde degree you now hold in your hands is your passport to success as you rise to meet the challenges ahead. And as you embark on this new chapter of your lives, I encourage you to continue learning. Embrace new challenges. Remember that the pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey, and that success is not measured by what you achieve, but by the impact that you make on the world around you. So it's with immense pride that we see you graduate today, and though you may be leaving us, we hope you'll continue to stay in touch. Let us know how you're getting on and continue to contribute to Strathclyde, because it's through the involvement of our alumni that we provide a first-class education student experience for you. So we now ask, you think of those who will follow. Finally, I'd like to thank the faculty and staff of Strathclyde for their unwavering commitment to excellence, their dedication to helping our graduates achieve their full potential. And to the families and friends of our graduates, thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement. So in conclusion, I'd like to congratulate you once again on this momentous achievement. The University of Strathclyde has equipped you with the tools you need to thrive in the years ahead, and I have no doubt at all that you'll make us all proud. So go forth with confidence, with purpose, and with the knowledge that you are capable of great things. I wish you every success for the future, and I now declare this congregation closed.
I would now like to invite you to join the academic procession and ask families and friends to remain upstanding until the procession has left the building, and then join us in the Learning and Teaching building for refreshments. Please be upstanding.